that there's an internal email to punish NATO allies that the administration believes failed to support the U.S. when it came to this war in Iran. And that includes possibly kicking Spain from NATO. Again, this is just an internal email exclusive to Reuters. But as we read this and find out more information, what are you thinking? What's your initial reaction?
Well, I'm surprised anyone in the administration is focused on that. They should be focused on the Iran war, how to ensure that we're putting enough pressure on Iran that it makes a deal. We reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and maybe we need regime change in Iran, although it looks like that's going to take putting boots on the ground. NATO did not help the Trump administration in the way that they hoped, but the Trump administration had been denigrating NATO for months. It had threatened to take Greenland from Denmark, which is an important NATO member. And so when they didn't consult with NATO before they started the Iran war, they shouldn't be surprised that the NATO countries aren't jumping to help out the U.S. But I do think that NATO is still important. It's the most successful alliance that the United States has ever had. And by the way, the United States cannot on its own kick out a country. So the U.S. can't just decide that Spain is no longer part of NATO. That would have to be a decision by the NATO countries collectively. And I do think there's also a deal to be done because NATO desperately needs the U.S. help with supporting Ukraine against Russia. And if the U.S. were to step up and do more, even do some of the things that the Biden administration was doing to help Ukraine that Trump has decided not to do, perhaps the NATO countries would be more willing to help the U.S. with the things it needs in Iran, including providing some of the naval ships that do mine clearing that the U.S. desperately needs in the Strait of Hormuz.